and somnambulism and out-of-body experience and unitive experience. Unitive experience is really interesting. Actually, you feel united to the universe, to everything, and you become depersonalized. You use your personal identity and you feel you are connected to everybody else. I have experienced unitive experience maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, and that was really cool. An out-of-body experience that you see yourself outside of your body, but you are in deep hypnosis. Something like 20 or maybe 10% of the normal population can experience these deep hypnotic experiences. And these are the famous associations in terms of hypnosis: American Society of Clinical Hypnosis, Iranian Scientific Society of Clinical Hypnosis, which is my affiliate, and North Carolina Society of Clinical Hypnosis, International Society of Hypnosis, which is one of my affiliates, and the Milton Erickson Foundation. And yeah, we discussed about the application of hypnosis. One is medicine, the other thing is business. You can use hypnosis in sales through conversational hypnosis, and to my ethical system, as long as it's honest persuasion, there is nothing wrong with that. When it comes to deceptive tricks, it can be unethical. But as long as you use hypnosis and conversational hypnosis in terms of honest persuasion, I think there is no ethical issue with that.
Give us a couple of tips.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we can use it.
Yeah, we can use it. Who is in sales, by the way? In this?
Everybody
is in
yeah,
okay.
business. You are
So yeah, our next agenda would be conversational hypnosis
I
and
thought
sales.
he's gonna be for sale. That's what it was.
Yeah, we're gonna be billionaires. Billionaires club. Persian billionaires club. One of the any questions so far? I'm talking just too fast.
You said that after 3 months you can go back and find out what, for example, the
You
history?
can go to your previous life.
Okay.
There is something called past life therapy, and it's the use of hypnosis to go to your previous life. I'm not sure if, I don't believe in reincarnation, but I don't deny that as well. I don't know if reincarnation exists or not, but the thing is, it works. When I was in Iran, we had an asthmatic patient, and she was on something like 50 milligrams of prednisone every day for 9 years. And she came back to her previous lives, and she said, I was hanged in a mosque or church for some religions in her previous life. Mm-hmm. And she was like suffocating in hypnosis. But when she came back, the asthma was gone. And I was following up with the patient for 6 months before coming to Canada, and she was 100% symptom free. So regardless of the fact that reincarnation exists or not, it works from the practical point of view.
And how about the privacy of the, for example, this, I think people, for example, if you go, for example, for the investigating, for example, for the formal offices or like police departments or those kind of things, you have experience like that, or?
Actually, I had one experience with that in Iran, in Iranian Scientific Society of Clinical Hypnosis. It's interesting, in legislation structure in Iran, you can't use hypnosis in the court because people can lie even under hypnosis. Actually, people can lie better under hypnosis. The truth is they become much more imaginative, so they can make up stories and make up things much easier. But you can, in Iran, you can use hypnosis to recall things. Sometimes you want to recall that, but because of some unpleasant experiences like post-traumatic stress disease or some stuff like that, you can't remember. So hypnosis can help you to remember stuff you can't, but in
for example,
terms of
being as an evidence in a scene or something happens in the
yeah,
crime.
you cannot use that as an evidence because you can lie much easier. But if you want to remember, but for some reasons you cannot recall the details, hypnosis can help.
That's very interesting.
Excuse me, what are the risk factors? Like somebody doesn't know how to do his job, what is the risk factor for the patient?
explain a little bit more?
Because we've heard that it can be dangerous. How it can be dangerous?
Yeah, the thing is, hypnosis is safe unless there are some, as you said, some risk factors or some predisposing factors. One of the absolute contraindications of hypnosis, not absolute, but relative contraindications of hypnosis is psychosis. Because if you hypnotize a pre-psychotic patient, actually you push him or her into psychosis. But the thing is, hypnosis just discloses the status. Even if you don't hypnotize that person gets psychotic within 3 or 6 months. The other thing is personality disorders, like histrionic traits. They are really dangerous because you cannot predict what's going to happen in hypnosis. They may do strange things. And obsessive compulsive patients, you cannot hypnotize them because they are just analyzing and they get obsessed. So you cannot, but maybe the only absolute contraindication of hypnosis is pre-psychotic patients and people with serious personality disorders.
Their symptom might be even strong.
Yeah, you cannot predict what's going to happen.
I've been in a session for hypnotizing some people for one of my relatives' car was stolen, and some people ask that there is a guy that can put some child under the age to the sleep, and send him to after for example, the thief, or find out that who was stealing the car, and then the kid was in the sleep and it was starting to talk and introducing that, oh, I can see the car that is parked right there. Someone came in with this situation and appearance, and then took the car to the street that we knew the name, and we went there and we found that house.
And it worked?
Yeah. But the car wasn't there. They took it to the viaduct and put it out of the border. But it was 90% true story. It wasn't something that he was lying or something. That they've been following the case, and they found that some evidence that this was because the kid was not, like, for example, overaged or over 16-year-old. He couldn't make up the story or find out the names and things. What's your explanation on that?
To be honest, when it comes to hypnosis, we are not just talking about one entity. We are talking about it's like a spectrum. It's like a spectrum of different phenomena. Yeah, for sure, one end of this spectrum is supernatural stuff, but my focus is on the other end. The other end, which is more evidence-based, which is more measurable, and which is more practical. But for sure, one end of this game is so supernatural. But I try not to be involved in that part because the reason is they are not measurable. That's why I'm focusing on the other end, which is more measurable, more practical, and to do some 5 minutes. Okay.